support this Constitution. It means that if you know that the Constitution is being violated, yeah, you immediately have to remove the violating of the Constitution. You have to care. Now, I have documented, yes, at least 24 violations of the amendments and the Constitution itself. Yes. And some of those amendments you violated multiple times. And then I said I wanted to use the courts of this nation. Yeah. Then there's the International Criminal Court of the United Nations. Yeah. Why don't you get me those judges? Pooch. Their credit cards. Yes. And the segments of their credit cards. Now, it could be that removing the infrastructure of the United Nations, since you refuse to enforce the Charter or the conventions, yes, the International Criminal Court might be replaced with a new infrastructure. Oh, it looks like the United Nations did not actually exercise their authority in the enforcement of their charter. Yes, and their conventions. Now, let's say we had one less international criminal court. I know it sounds really, really mean, but if we removed all the unnecessary parts of the United Nations and we made them strictly a support organization for refugees, the Global League of Syria Societies could be involved in the support of those that are refugees. Yes. Now, this idea of giving them the governmental authority during times of conflict, yeah, we might remove that. Now, let's say you're a nation and you go to war against each other. Yes. And instead of calling the United Nations to be the global governmental authority at or after times of war, yeah, we no longer use them. Now, for a lot of nations that go to war, yes, they'll be a little concerned about, well, who's going to replace our government after the war? Yeah, yeah, they're going to be concerned. Well, I don't know. I mean, let's say we went to war. We decide to go to war against Iran, approximately 100 million of them. Yeah. And they're a tough nation, but we kick their ass. Now, when we're done, there is no United Nations to step in to reestablish a government at that location. Yeah. Now, for all the Iranians that are left after the war, yes, it does. They're going to have some big problems. We could consider the whole nation refugees, but they won't be able to marry. No. They won't be able to die. No. They won't be able to give birth. No. Now, I know you said the marriage certificate is not significant. Mm-mm. But if I looked at every birth certificate issued from the United Nations, yes, from every marriage certificate that the United Nations authorized, how many individuals that have a United Nations marriage certificate, yes, also have a birth certificate issued from them? Now, for every little baby, yes, that their parents got married as United Nations refugees, I would say that the nations that we go to war with, yes, would not have another governmental authority to be able to issue legal documents. Yes, it does. Known as marriage certificates, right now, birth certificates, right, or death certificates. Now, I know it's very difficult for you to understand this, but if you were to actually die, yes, after a war, there would be no record of your death. If you were to be born, yes, there's no record of your birth. If you were to get married after a war, there's no record.